Everyone that wants to talk about how Makachev's striking is better than Khabib's. Do you think Makachev's striking is better than McGregor's? Okay. And if you don't, we got to make a whole other video about that one. But let's say you just realize, oh snap, I look dumb now. McGregor's striking is better than Makhachev's. Look at what Khabib did to Conor McGregor. It doesn't matter how good the striking is. He's going to whoop and the double leg. And then he's going to trap your legs and he's going to go danga da danga da danga, smash the face, danga da dang. If you know, you know. I've been watching a lot of Family Matters lately. Some of you probably know it better as Urkel. That's what we used to call it when I was little. Hey, put it back. It's my turn. I was watching Urkel. And some of you don't know. Some of you newer generation. The young ones. Some of you grew up on that iCarly. And you don't know what it's like. But you need to put some respect on his name. That's how we came up. Did I do that? I'm talking about Urkel right now. Comfort television. I like to watch reruns. And I came across, I'm getting deeper into the seasons right now. Because I kind of just play it on in the background. Currently, Urkel is the soundtrack of my life. So when I'm doing other things, I'm editing, I'm cleaning, I'm doing whatever, I got Urkel on in the background. I just hear that for, I'm wearing you down. I'm wearing you down. I'm starting to remember all the catchphrases. I'm just laughing. What does he say? I don't have to take this. I'm going home. He has a bunch of those. Anyway, or I remember one of my favorite. You love me, don't you? Anyway, that's not the point right now. I'm going to make an Urkel video later on the 3rd channel. But, those of you who used to watch Urkel, Family Matters, you know that he used to have this, alternate character, like this bizarro character. And his name was Stefan, right? Well, here's the thing that I was thinking about the other day with, Charles Oliveira. I don't know if you remember back in the old days, he actually used to come out to the fights with his glasses on. He used to make the walk with the glasses on so that he didn't make a wrong turn and end up in the crowd fighting with some random dude that was just trying to have a good time because it was his birthday or whatever. That's how blind he was. He was so blind, he had to wear his glasses during the walkout so he didn't take a wrong turn and end up fighting with a civilian. But then they put him in the cage and he's like Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's like, that's how blind he was. They're going to lock him in the cage to fight some dude, but he can't even make the walk because he can't see. So he used to come out in his glasses. I got dry mouth because I've been drinking too much coffee. He used to come out in his... Ironically, when I drink more, it helps me wake up a little bit, and then my mouth wakes up as well. It's counterintuitive, but actually maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe it's like a placebo, and it's actually going to make it worse. We'll see. But Steve Urkel used to have this bizarro character named Stefan. And every once in a while, Stefan would come out. We didn't know when he was going to be there. And he would show up and he was way different. He didn't wear the glasses or the suspenders. He didn't act all nerdy or whatever. He was like this cool guy, you know, as far as the mid-90s goes, you know. And I kind of felt like that's what happened with Charles Oliveira lately. He used to come out looking like I used to call him the ethnic looking Clark Kent, you know, because he'd come out like all, you know, unassuming with the glasses and everything. You didn't know what you were going to get. And then he goes in there, he's a killer. That's back when I was rooting for him. When I bought the t-shirt, I told you. And then he went and he made some money. He got the 2-for-1, you know, the 3-for-1. He got the teeth, he got the ice fix, he got the Lambo. He did everything, took care of it. But then the last fight, he didn't show. We didn't know who he was, and he didn't even know who he was. He said he didn't know. He doesn't know who broke into his locker room and warmed up and put on his clothes and went out to fight Makhachev. He doesn't know who that was. Ironically, he doesn't know where he was at the moment either. He doesn't have an alibi. He wasn't there in the fight fighting Makhachev. We know that, but we also don't know where he was. That would never fly in court. I'll just say that. But you know, we're gonna let it fly right here. No, that wasn't him. Just like when Nunes got finished by Peña. Nah, that wasn't her. Where was she? I don't know, but she wasn't there. And she dominated Peña. Did she finish her? No, she won by decision. But we're gonna talk about that. Even though Nunes finished, Peña finished her. But it's because she wasn't there. Where was she though? I don't know. Same thing. It just goes round and round and round and round and round. It's circular reasoning. Oliveira wasn't there. Okay, fine. Let's just humor each other for a moment. Oliveira wasn't there when he fought Makhachev. And then all of a sudden, Stefan shows up. Stefan shows up when it's time to fight Dariush. We thought we had seen what was going on with Oliveira. Okay, he had a little good run. He's fighting these dudes that were on skids anyway. He's beating dudes that that had really maxed out their potential anyway. Then he gets killed by Makhachev. Not only does he get caught in that submission, he doesn't even go to sleep. He willingly, consciously goes, hey, I'm done, fool. Please let me go. I want to go home. That's different. There's a big difference from getting put to sleep and going, please, sir, undo what you're doing right now because I'm in great distress. Please let me out of this situation. That's a lot different. It says a lot different things when you do that. And we thought that fool was going to show up the same, but we got Stefan. Now, I know there's people coming back and they're clowning. Hey, what now? What now? What happened to your prediction? Hey, no one could have known that Stefan was going to show up that night. Nobody, I had no idea, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It was a good fight. Dariush didn't do what he was supposed to do. It's okay. I'm surprised, and I also respect that Dariush didn't come out saying, hey, by the way, you know how when Nunes lost, that wasn't her? And when Oliveira lost, that wasn't him? That wasn't me either. Because honestly, to me, it didn't look like him. It didn't look like him, but I'm not going to go down that path. Because sometimes when fighters face a certain individual, the individual doesn't let them look like themselves. They don't let them play their game. So that's why they don't end up looking like themselves. And that's what happened when I'm talking about Nunes and when I'm talking about Oliveira, but it hurts to say it about Dariush. The reason you don't look like yourself and you're not yourself, like Irene Alnada, why she didn't look like herself is because the person in there shuts you down and they don't let you look like yourself. You think you're a big old baller on the court and everything, showing up to the YMCA, but then they throw you in there and you have to go one-on-one with Tracy McGrady. And I know what you're thinking. Who's Tracy McGrady? Learn your history, fool. What are you, like 9 years old? I remember when I was a sophomore and I was rocking the Tracy McGrady's and I had them one size too big because when I went to the mall, they didn't have the size that I wanted, but I already told all the homies that I was going to get them and I didn't want to show up in like the Skechers or whatever like that because they would have been clowning on me for that. They would have been clowning on me till I dropped out. But I got the size too big and then I was like, I'm going to grow into them. And then I never grew. I stuffed them with socks though. And everyone just thought I had big feet. But it was uncomfortable because I used to have to walk home. But that's not what this is about right now. No one could have figured that Stefan was going to show up that night. Look, I know it feels good for those of you that are diehards, that are ride or dies, that was staying with Oliveira, and you got lucky. Good. Good for you. We all deserve it every once in a while. It's real easy to talk a big game now. But even the betting odds were against that fool. Nobody could have anticipated this. It's one of those things where you couldn't anticipate it, and all roads lead to no way that's going to happen. But when it does happen, good for you. Good for you. You probably needed this right now. That's all right. But I want to add one more thing. I thought it was the Stefan situation, but that's not it. It kind of amused me. And I kind of enjoyed going down that train of thought. And it kind of made me feel better. It consoled me. Because you watch season 1, season 2, season 3 of Family Matters, I can't remember when Stefan showed up. I think it was like season 5. You would have never guessed that character was going to show up until it comes out and then Laura's in love. All of a sudden. It's nothing that anybody could have saw coming and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But then I realized that's not even it. So I wasted this whole front part of the video talking about it. I realized what it is actually. Now I tell you time and time again, Islam Makhachev is basically the low budget store brand Khabib Nurmagomedov. It's disrespectful and it's insulting when people not only say that he's better than Khabib, but imply that he's even anywhere near his level. Yeah, that's the same thing they said about Tony Ferguson in regard to Khabib. That's the same thing, and I know they never got to fight, but when you saw what happened to him by other fighters, you could tell, okay, this was never going to go well. That's the same thing they said about Conor McGregor. That's the same thing they said about Oliveira, and then look at what the low-budget Khabib did to him. You can't put Makhachev and Khabib in the same, and then people are like, yeah, but his striking, fool. If you put Makhachev against Khabib, that striking ain't going to matter. Khabib's going to go, whoop, change levels, and that's it. I don't care how good his striking is. He could be a Golden Gloves champion. This ain't boxing. It's not a boxing match. And that's not even me conceding to saying that Makhachev's stand-up is better. That's me just humoring you and going, okay, you think it's better? Okay, Khabib go, whoop, change levels. That's it. Just like he did with Conor McGregor. You think Makhachev's hands are better than Conor McGregor's? I mean, some of you, it seems like you've never been confronted with that type of opposition before. Everyone that wants to talk about how Makhachev's striking is better than Khabib's. Do you think Makhachev's striking is better than McGregor's? Okay. And if you don't, we got to make a whole other video about that one. But let's say you just realize, oh snap, I look dumb now. McGregor's striking is better than Makhachev's. Look at what Khabib did to Conor McGregor. It doesn't matter how good the striking is. He's going to whoop and the double leg. And then he's going to trap your legs and he's going to go danga da danga da danga, smash the face, danga da dang. If you know, you know. I forgot what I was talking about. I don't know how I started talking about the Dagestanians now. My point, I remember now. Look, it's not the Steve Urkel thing. It's the fact that Oliveira fought Makhachev. That's what used to happen with people that fought Khabib. They find themselves in this weird limbo. They're in this in-between that they can never get out of. Once you fight someone like Khabib, and now, for this generation, I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. You get the lower version that's never going to be as good as the one before. It's just like how now you got LeBron James. I'm sorry for you young folks. You're never going to know what it was like to have Kobe Bryant. I apologize. You're never going to understand all those championships and stuff like that. But that you got to work with what you got. So when it was Khabib, you'd have like Poirier face him. And now when he feels that strength of Khabib, when he feels that ground and pound, when he feels that choke, it's like nothing's ever going to compare. He's just going to dominate everybody else. But he would never be able to do anything to Khabib. And then that's like what's happening right now with Oliveira. He's felt that squeeze. He's felt that power. He's felt that whatever that Dagestan influence. He has faced that in the cage, and he's never gonna face nothing like that again. So it's like when you face someone, and in this case it was Dariush. And look, I know I've told you before when you guys try to put me in that corner, and you're like, okay, you think Dariush is gonna be Oliveira? What about Dariush and Makhachev? And I even tell you, I say, hey, maybe Makhachev's gonna kill him, but I'm still gonna root for Dariush, and I'm still gonna pick against logic. Because I can't pick against my guy. Even if I know Dariush is going to get killed, I'm still going to pick him and willingly be wrong if I'm wrong. But I'm not going to go against him because that's my dude. Because I'm a big Dariush fan. But I even told you it's not going to go well because Makhachev is just a machine in there. He's just a machine. The only dude that could beat him right now is the dude that did beat him, Volkanovski. But aside from that, I mean, Oliveira, after feeling that, Dariush ain't gonna feel like much. You know what I'm saying? So right now, Oliveira's in that limbo where he's gonna do it to Gaethje. He's gonna do it to Poirier. He's gonna do it to whoever comes his way. But then he's gonna get back to Makhachev, and it's a wrap. And people are gonna be like, oh, like we didn't already know that Makhachev is the Khabib Nurmagomedov of this generation, and everyone's gonna be caught in between, and they're always gonna be the bridesmaid. So congratulations, all you out there with the frosted tips. They're talking about the champ has a name. Of course he has a name. Everybody has a name. Even the interim champs have names, and the fools that don't have any titles have names. I still don't get the catchphrase. I have a name. You have a name. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if it means something more in Brazilian and it holds some kind of value that doesn't translate. It doesn't make any sense. Dana White has a name. John Anik has a name. Who cares? Everybody got names. But one thing's for sure, Oliveira's never going to have that name, Islam Makhachev. Freeze frame. He's never going to have that name champion while Islam Makhachev is around. It's probably what would have been a better finisher.